So you've been listening to me ramble on for quite some time about this, that, and the other. So allow me to ramble on briefly about how I operate this podcast. There's lots of options for how you want to post and host your podcast and put it out into the world. I did a lot of research on mine, and for me, I decided to go with Anchor.fm. If you haven't heard of Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's free. That was a big selling point to me. Free is good. I like free. There's also tools for creation to help you record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer or your tablet or whatever you're using. I find that to be effective. So we got free, we got recording and editing, both big deals because they are. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you. So it can be heard on Spotify, it could be heard on Apple Podcasts, it could be heard on Google Podcasts, and many, many more. That is a huge time saver because I don't have to go to each of those things to upload. So I like that distribution right then and there. And again, it's free. You can make money from your podcast if you're into that kind of thing with no minimum listenership. That could be cool. I think you should try it. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So if you've been on the fence about making a podcast and the only thing holding you back is how you want to host it or create it or whatever, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's worth it. Happy birthday, America. I would actually sing happy birthday to you, to America, but apparently that song is copyrighted and trademarked. And if you record that and put it out there, you can get in trouble. Did you know that? That's why restaurants always have their own different fucking versions of it. I was not aware of this. This is news to me. Actually, I've known that for a while now, but yeah. Anyway, it's 4th of July weekend. It is currently the 3rd of July, the day before. My computer is telling me it's 90 degrees outside here where I'm at in Aurora, Colorado. And that sounds awful. It doesn't need to be that warm. Like, I'm happy that the weather's good. It looks kind of cloudy out to the east, but it looks a little warm. And my view of the pool, while reflective of the warmth, the scenery is not stellar, so that's a bummer. But that's okay. That's okay. I got my days mixed up and thought I had plans for this afternoon. Turns out those plans are for tomorrow, and that works out all right. Got plans for practice and then plans for, Independence Day. And that's cool. I'm down with that. I'm going to keep this very brief because, as previously mentioned, I have a very special guest. You might say the most special guest ever. Without her, I would not be here. As in, not be in my living room, because I wouldn't exist, probably. However, if I should perish, she might be able to put you in contact with me. I don't know if she'd be willing to. Personal connection maybe interfering with that, and just overall heartbreak at losing me, because I'm kind of a big deal. Maybe. I don't know. I'm imagining that's probably the reaction that would happen, and I don't want to think about it any further than that because it makes me a little sad. But I got my mom to be my guest on a Zoom call, and we talked. It was only supposed to be about a half-hour thing, and it was almost a full fucking hour because, first of all, I don't shut up. So, as you guys know, and that's kind of the way it just went. And that's okay. We talked about things. We talked about her podcast. We talked about her career of the last 30 plus years. She is a psychic medium healer person. I'm really hoping you can't hear all the kids screaming that is currently happening, like playful screaming. Sadly, not slapping children around screaming, but they're having a good time. And I don't know where they're at. I think they're in the hallway in my building. But anyway, my mom. She was sick last weekend. We were supposed to do it, so we postponed. She got better, and That's good. Being sick sucks, especially when it's super hot. And she lives in Atlanta, so it's kind of always super hot. And that's dumb. Super dumb. So I'm glad she's feeling better. And Mom, I really, really, really thank you for joining me for a little call. And I need to be better about calling you. Maybe then it doesn't need to take an hour every time we talk at minimum. But that's cool, because we stayed on the phone after I stopped recording our Zoom call and continued to chat about various things. And it was good talk. Good talk. So if you're not close with your mom, that's cool. I'm sure you have your reasons. And anyway, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I will say, though, Noctambulist here from Colorado, death metal band, super brutal death metal band. Empyrean Eclipse played with them a couple years ago when we opened for... Who the fuck did we open for? Skeletal Remains. Yeah, they're badass. Very, very badass. Their new album just came out yesterday, I think. Yesterday or the day before. I just picked it up on bandcamp.com. Haven't listened to it yet. I've listened to the one track that they've had out for a little while, and it's brutal, so I'm really looking forward to digging into that. Live, they're fucking amazing. Just super, super, super brutal. And this record sounds brutal from what I've heard of it. So that's my one non-mom related piece of information I am providing to you right now. Also, I guess I'm going to add a second piece of Oak, Ash, and Thorn put out an album. I guess it's been a month or so now. I bought it a while back and forgot to download it from bandcamp.com. And I finally did today, right after my call with my mom finished. I remembered, I was like, oh, hey, I'm really dumb. I have these albums that I picked up. And so I finally just did that and, put them on my iTunes to, I didn't buy them from iTunes, but I put them in my library and they'll sync to my phone and all that good shit, even though I don't use an iPhone because I'm not a big Apple fan. Anyway, regardless of Oak, Ash, and Thorn, I got their shit. And then Noctambulist, I'm really looking forward to digging into both of those. So sometime this week, maybe on the next episode, I'll have some stuff to say about both of those. Yeah. Without further ado, and because you already heard the commercial for Anchor, I'm just going to get in and play this call with my mom. Again, Ginger Quinlan, gingerquinlan.com. We provided an ample opportunity for you to get some information how to contact her if you're interested in a reading. She doesn't do crazy in-person readings anymore, but she still offers some services, limited services now. But yeah, it's listen to just me and my mom chatting about whatever. We did start talking on the Zoom call before I recorded because I was trying to help her with her computer, fixing the camera. I failed. But just know that you're catching us kind of mid-conversation, if you will. And I'm just going to splice it on in here. And hopefully the audio quality isn't too terrible. It should sound significantly different than what you're listening to me talk right now. But not horribly different. Maybe just a little bit. Anyway, I love you all. I'm putting this out today. I'm going to finish editing this stuff and I'm going to upload it to Anchor today, so it should go out to everybody. I'm not going to wait it till Monday. I probably should, but it's 4th of July fucking weekend. I have Monday off from work. Yeah. It doesn't matter. None of you care when it goes out. It's just going out. Is that way when you're listening to it, you're like, oh, it's the day after 4th of July, you idiot. You might still listen to that and say that because whatever. Time is not real. Just kidding. I'm at 7 minutes over already. So without further ado, here is the Zoom recording of me and my mom. There's no video, and that's fine because nobody needs to see me. It's totally cool. Me and my mom, Ginger Quinlan. She's cool. Enjoy. I love you. There won't be anything afterwards where I wrap anything up. So listen, take notes, get a reading if you want. I'm not your boss. Do whatever you want to do. I love you all. Be safe. Have a good 4th of July weekend. If you're in America, if you're in the UK, have a good weekend, I guess. Fish and chips, curry, whatever. Chicken, tikka masala, all of which are good. I love all those things. Happy weekend. Enjoy your days. I will see you on the next side. Oh, and the weekend of the 10th, Saturday, July 10th, that's the open Zoom call. I've been really shitty about putting it on social media. I am going to spam the fuck every day out of that link so that hopefully people see it and join me next Saturday, July 10th, noon o'clock Mountain Time, for the Zoom call where I just sit here and hope that people join me and we just have chit chats about whatever. That's the plan. I guess it's July 10th, and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. July 10th, noon o'clock Mountain Time. Join my Zoom call, and let's get stupid, or not. Let's just have a good time, chat about whatever, and that's the plan. So, without further ado, here's a call with me and my mom. Listen to us have a conversation. I love you all. Be safe. Recording in progress is what it told me. That's cool, I guess. Okay, so we're recording. First of all, thank you for doing this.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's good to talk to you, like twice in the same month. Well, I guess when was the last time we talked on the phone?
Last month.
Yeah, like the week. Was it last month?
Yeah.
Everything's gone by so quickly for me, I can't keep track. It was after Mother's Day, I know that much, but
yeah, we had a nice long conversation.
We did, because we don't talk all that often, so we had to make up for lost time. So.
Totally. So it was good. It was awesome.
It's good. How's things? How have you been? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling much better. I'm over my sinus infection, ear infection crud. So I'm feeling like me again. Woohoo!
Ear infections as adults are one of the worst things in the world. It's been a couple of years since I had one, but I think it was the first time as an adult I had an ear infection was just a couple of years ago, and I wanted to die. It was awful.
Yes, it feels like you have sabers sticking out of your ears and somebody's twisting them every time you talk.
That is correct. That is an accurate statement.
Yeah, it's no fun. So I'm glad to be done with it.
I have had a sinus infection. I got sick in March twice when I was out in LA. One was a sinus infection. Then I got strep throat shortly after that. It was LA tried to kill me several times.
But it didn't succeed. So yay.
It really, really wanted to, both in spirit and physically. I was out there for work, so it is what it is. But I survived. I should probably write a song about it, about how I will survive. And as long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. I don't know if that's been done before.
Is that the most disco we'll get from your show?
It might be. It might be. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Blondie, so we'll see. We'll see.
Love Blondie.
How could you not? But you didn't have a Blondie record. You had a Donna Summers record.
Yes, I thrived on Donna Summers.
It was several records. It was like a 3-pack or something, I recall.
Had all of her records. All of them.
Oh, Donna Summers. Is she still alive?
Her. Yes. And I think she's singing gospel. I know.
Whatever, teach their own.
She started with gospel, but then went into disco. So,
well, got to make some money, I guess. There's not a lot of money in gospel music, from what I understand.
True.
I don't actually understand that. I have no idea. That's just a wild assumption that it can't be all that financially lucrative, but maybe it is. Maybe it is.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I just know that I love Donna Summer. Totally.
I remember listening to those records from time to time, and I was a fan, I guess. I was probably like 10, but it was fun because I listened to Purple Rain a whole bunch too, because you had that one, and I don't remember what other records you had. There were only a few that I remember. Barry
Manilow.
Yeah, I didn't listen to
Barry?
That one.
No, because that's like sabers in your ears when you're a kid, right? It's right up there with your infections.
The guy's got skills. I mean, you can't not have the skills and be that famous and popular, but not for me.
He was actually the first concert I went to, and then I went to it 3 times. That's how much I liked Barry Manilow, because I wanted to be as good of a piano player as he was.
I could yeah, I could get that.
Yeah, so he was my hero for piano. But yeah.
So then what's your favorite Barry Manilow song?
I write the songs.
Is that the name of one of his songs?
Yes.
I never would
I
have
write
known
the
that.
songs so the whole world can hear, or something like that. I really like that song. It's emotional. And I like Mandy, his very first song.
Yeah, I know Mandy, and I only know Mandy because of the movie Can't Hardly Wait, and the main character has crazy emotions for the lead female character, whose name is Amanda. But he heard the song Mandy by Barry Manilow, thinks it's about a girl named Amanda, and there's this whole equation that it's destiny that he ends up with this girl because of this song. And the same, it's funny ass movie. But yeah, that's the only reason I know about that song Mandy, is because of that movie. So, but now I hear it, I'm like, oh my God, I know this song, because I've seen that movie a couple hundred times, because I watch it every year.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, it's like so it's it's a high school movie. It's the day they graduate, and they have their graduation party is basically when it takes place. And you've actually, I think, seen it probably, because it came out either the year I graduated or the year after, so 98 or 99. And I'm pretty sure you've at least seen parts of it, but
I probably have.
it's not exactly relatable to you, maybe, but you've seen it, or at least seen a lot of the people that are in it, because it has a lot of famous folks like Jennifer Love Hewitt. She's the main girl in it. Maybe you're familiar with her work. She's currently on that stupid 911 show, which I've never seen, so I don't really know it's stupid, but I can probably make that safe assumption.
I watched her on Ghost Whisperer.
Ghost Whisperer, yeah.
All
Shocking that you would watch that show.
Totally shocking.
So for the people who may listen to this podcast and may not know, what is it that you have been doing for your career for the last 30 something years?
Well, I have been doing psychic mediumship healing work. I started off reading tarot cards, and it took me into doing all the different modalities in the metaphysical fields, which basically I tell people what's going on with their lives, what's coming up in their lives. I talk to dead people pretty much every day. I clear people's houses of negative energy, clear people of negative energy. Basically, I kind of just do a lot of talking, listening, and healing work. But in the bigger picture, I'm one of 21 people in the world who's been scientifically tested by Windbridge Research Center, which is an afterlife research center. And it was 2 years of triple blind studies of mediums who volunteered to be studied and then be certified. So we go through these big, huge testings, and you don't know your results for 2 years. And out of, I think it was 1,500 people who volunteered, 21 of us were certified as actual real people who talked to the dead. So I'm one of those people, and I'm super honored to be part of Windbridge Research Center and Forever Family Foundation. Both of those places deal with grief. So I've been trained in how to deal with people's grief if they lose somebody. And it changed my world when that happened. So it took me to a whole nother level of doing readings and working with people, and then meeting a lot of famous people in the process who do this kind of work, like Kim Russo, Teresa Caputo, Long Island Medium. I've worked with all those people. Lisa Williams, John Holland. Not all of them are certified with Windbridge, but because of Windbridge, I got to kind of rub shoulders with them and meet them.
So, what is the certification process for something like that for you? Like, what do they do exactly to certify you?
Well, it starts off, they give you a psychological test to make sure that you're only partially crazy because you're talking to dead people. I actually signed up for this because some of my clients said they're doing this research thing. You should sign up, because I always wondered why I did this. What makes me different than other people who don't do this or can't do this? So that's why I signed up. It's like, why am I weird? So you do the psychology test, and that's like a written computer test. Then they kind of phase out the people who don't pass that. Then Dr. Julie Beischel, who was in charge of the study, calls the medium, that would be me, and my other people who were doing this, and you're assigned a name of a dead person. They call it a discarnate. You only get the first name, and then Dr. Julie asks you questions like, what did my discarnates person's name was Barbara? What did Barbara do in her life that she liked? What were her hobbies? What did she look like? Who was her family? All of that. And then me, as the medium, has to talk to Barbara in spirit and get the right Barbara. That's the tricky part. And tell Dr. Julie everything that you feel, see, hear, taste, know, and smell from that dead person. So we did 2 years of double-blind studies, and I almost didn't pass because, and here's the cool part about this, at the very end of the study, Dr. Julie said, you almost didn't pass, Ginger. And I was like, what? Because you don't know if you're right or not through that entire 2 years of answering questions. So I said, well, okay. And she goes, no, this is why. You didn't do anything wrong. At the end of the study, they have the sitters. That would be the people who actually volunteer to give the names of the discarnates, the dead people that they want to connect with, because Dr. Julie doesn't know who the dead people are, only the people who are connected to them, which is the sitters, their family, right? So what happened, the very last phone call was actually a conference call between the medium and the sitters that was being tested. So my particular call, I would have the sitter that's connected to the Barbara that I was supposed to connect with. But what I didn't know is that all the sitters were listening to this particular testing with every single medium. And thank goodness they were, because it saved me. What Dr. Julie didn't know is the person that I was describing to her in this conference call, which was totally the wrong Barbara, actually belonged to the other sitter whose mother's name was also Barbara. So for 2 years, I was describing this other sitter's Barbara, and I was spot on the entire time. And Dr. Julie kept going, why is she not getting this? Why is she not getting this? And I didn't know any of that until after the study was done. So that last meeting saved me. That's how I got certified.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I was talking, and I was like, so that other sitter just didn't say anything that entire time, or they just can't say anything until the end?
They're not supposed to say anything, but in this conference call, the sitter whose mom's name was Barbara also, but she didn't go by Barbara, burst into tears in the middle of the call. And she goes, that's my mom.
That's trippy.
It was very trippy. So I was reading her mom the entire 2 years. And then all of my study results made sense. And that's how I passed. And Dr. Julie actually wrote a paper and published it. But the other thing about the whole thing is because it's a triple blind study and nobody knows anybody, we all just know Dr. Julie and her husband, Mark, is she actually used the number that was assigned to me through this. And that's how I knew she was talking about me in this published paper, because we knew what our numbers were.
Crazy.
So it it was a very grueling kind of emotional self-doubt testing for 2 years, because you don't know if you're right or you're wrong.
Sure.
And you're just supposed to pull Barbara's name out of the air and do a reading. But that's how mediumship works. You pull an energy that's connected to a name, who's connected to the person you're reading for, and then you give information.
That makes sense, because so this last week, we did this in-person training in Westminster here up at our office. We have an office up there, and it was not a leadership. The hell was it called? Maybe it was called leadership development. It wasn't about leadership though. It was a teacher instructor development is what it was called. Instructor development, because we do a lot of training. Training is a huge part of my job. And it was about how to better facilitate a training class with, tips, tricks, activities, all this other stuff, similar to a bunch of the other classes I've taken over the few years I've been in this position, but way, way, way more involved. And I don't remember exactly how it came up, but maybe I was talking about trying to get you on the podcast, and that's how it came up. And I said that you were a medium, and that piqued the interest of a few of my coworkers, and so they started asking questions, and I said, I was like, I'm still, I grew up with this stuff, and I'm a pretty big skeptic, but I was like, I also dabbled in that, if you will, back in the day when I was a child. And I told them about how you would have me do the water, like the crystal ball, and the stones and focus, and how I described Earl to a T before I ever met him. And, described the redheaded bearded guy in the green smock sweeping the floor. And I remember it as if it was yesterday, sweeping the floor and not knowing that it was the guy you were dating working at 7-Eleven, sweeping the floor at 7-Eleven. And that's why he's wearing the green smock. And, I brought up a couple other times. The last time I remember doing any of that was when I was in high school at Bennett. And my friend Katie had asked a pretty pointed question about whether or not she would go to state in the track and field. And I said, no, that was a tarot reading, but I was like, no, I'm seeing that you're going to hurt your ankle. And she was like, why would you say that? And I was like, that's you asked me. That's just what, I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. This is just, you asked that question. That's the answer that I'm saying. It just came to my brain. And that's kind of how I described, because every time I've ever had this similar conversation with people about how, it came up that you had started helping people get certified. And I was like, and I don't know how that happens, but I think, inherently everybody has intuition or whatever. And I think it's developing that intuition, if you will. And then I would tell them about that. And so that stuff came up, and I was like, yeah, that's, so when you're saying you're pulling on that energy and just going with that, I can get that. And I think, and like I said, I think everybody can do it. It's just whether or not they are in tune or get themselves to that place where they allow themselves to, maybe.
Right. You're exactly right. And part of it is just trusting what you feel, because a lot of it comes up in your feelings. It's kind of like, you're driving and you're going to go into another lane and you turn on your little blinker, maybe, unless you live in Atlanta, then you don't. And you suddenly get a feeling, no, if I go in that lane, this guy behind me is going to whack me, right? And so you stay in your lane, but you listen to that feeling. Or you're going to go do something with friends, and then you get that feeling of, no, that's not going to go good. I don't feel very good. I shouldn't go. And that's what intuition is. And everybody has it. Absolutely. So when I certify people, it starts off with making friends with your intuition and all of your senses, because when you do mediumship work in particular, you have to pay attention to every kind of stimulation, intuition, sense that you have in your body. So I use what I hear, what I smell, what I see beyond my own eyes seeing things. I use my whatever they're sharing with me from the other side. I get visions of what they're doing and what they're saying and who they look like, what they look like, who's in their family, that kind of thing. So I help people just boost up that awareness. And some people can't handle it. Some people are so turned off intuitively that when they start the boosting process, they kind of bail. But others become just amazing, either psychics or mediums or both, because I think it all kind of just goes together. And you were incredibly open and intuitive as a kid, and you still are. And that probably helps you do your career working in 911, because it's the same kind of thing. You're listening, which you have to do. You're feeling what you need to do to get the situation taken care of, right? And you're doing what you know you need to do to get it resolved. And you're coaching the person that you're talking to at the same time. So all of your senses are on high alert, just like doing psychic work and mediumship work.
I don't know about high alert until I've had a good amount of caffeine, maybe, but
you know what I mean.
I do notice, you get that intuitive feeling. Like there was one day I was driving and I was at a stoplight and I was in the left lane, but then next to me in the was the turn lane to turn left at the intersection. And it was a 2-turn lane. And I knew that for whatever reason, I looked over at the guy in the car next to me to the left, and it was this older Asian guy. I just glanced at him and I was like, I bet this guy is going to go straight. He's not going to turn here. And if he's going straight, that means he's going to have to get over into my lane. Means that he's probably going to drive right into me. And I don't think he knows that that's what he's doing. But I was like, I'm just going to hang back a second when this light turns green and wait. And sure as shit, light turned green. I waited for like 2 seconds before I went. And that's exactly what happened. And I was like, well, that's trippy. Sometimes it works. And then other times, I am a dumbass. So, but I think that's everybody. Everybody's
pretty much. It's taken me a long time just to put my dumbass side to the left and just listen and pay attention to what my senses, the universe, spirit, God, higher power, whatever you want to call it, is trying to nudge me into doing, or sometimes hitting me over the head to pay attention to, because sometimes I'm an exceptionally slow learner and I have to make the same mistake over and over and over again to get it, as most people do.
This guy.
You got it from me.
Depends
Sorry.
on what it is. Financial mistakes. Maybe. Matters of the heart.
Yes.
Maybe.
I'm the queen of matters of the heart and screwing up there, right?
We've met.
Yes.
So anyway, you retired from doing readings a while ago, but last we spoke, you're doing readings again, except on a much smaller basis because of your throat issues, which I can hear it going in your voice already. So if you need to stop, let me know if you want to stop.
I'm good. I have a cough drop.
Yay.
Those help me. Yeah, I was doing hour readings and half-hour readings on the phone where you have to talk all the time. But I had a thyroid issue where my thyroid was huge and hitting my vocal cords. And so I had my thyroid removed and lost my voice for a year, almost a year and a half, where I could just whisper and croak out some words for about 15 minutes. But it's getting stronger. I'm doing voice therapy where I sing every single day and do vocal exercises. And that's helping me. But my readings are now little mini readings that are 10 to 15 minutes where I just just like I do mediumship, tune in to my client's name and their questions, if they have questions, or just tune into their energy and their people on the other side and record whatever I see, feel, hear, taste, know, and smell, whatever I experience, whatever their guides and angels tell me, and whatever the other side tells me. And I record it and send them an MP3 of the recording. And they really like it. I was kind of scared at first because it's not traditional in the way people do readings, because they want to talk to you and get therapy and talk about their issues and all of that, which I totally understand. It's part of doing readings, but they actually get a ton of information in 10 to 15 minutes because I just rattled it all off. I like it. And then I do that twice a week. I do Mondays and Fridays. So I have 4 days in there where I can do the readings and get them off to people and not have to say, oh, today I don't have a voice, so sorry. Can we reschedule for whenever it decides to come back?
Right.
So it's been good. I've had good response with it.
So if somebody wanted to request a reading from you, how would they go about doing that?
Oh, well, they can go to my website at www.gingerquinlan.com. Go to the book now button that shows everything that I offer. And it's pretty much broken down into everyday life situations like money, health, relationships, psychic, mediumship. If you have a problem with your house, I do a house energy reading and tell you how to clear your house. So I do all those kind of things.
I'm looking at your website right now.
Yeah.
It's good that you have a disclaimer. That's always handy to have for legal
reasons. Because people can sue you.
Yeah.
You know, I tell my husband all the time, I want to be a weatherman where I can predict the weather every single day and be wrong 98% of the time. But in my business, you have to be right, or you don't have any clients and you don't make any money, and you have to be compassionate and open and be a good listener of people, or you just starve. You eat a lot of macaroni and cheese.
I mean, craft or off-brand? That's the question.
Oh, craft, definitely. You had lots of craft when I was first getting into this.
I do recall.
Yes. Do you remember offering shoulder rubs in the kitchen to my clients?
I do. And I remember after one of your clients got a reading from you, you then told her that I was learning. And so I did one for her too and told her about her sick German Shepherd. And,
yes.
And I didn't word it well. And turns out her dog was really, really sick. So.
And you were really, really right. And I was super proud of you. I'm still super proud of you.
Yes, creepy.
You need some creepiness on your show, dude.
Yeah.
Speaking of creepy, I thought of you. I thought of you yesterday.
That's not the words that I mean, normally I'm totally cool with that. I guess speaking of creepy, I thought of you really only bothers me when it's some girl that I'm attracted to. If that ever comes out of their mouth, that's probably not my goal.
But well, let me tell you why I was thinking of you. I was
spooky,
watching.
Okay, creepy, not so much.
Splinter. Remember when you told me to watch Splinter, the movie?
Splinter?
Where they're in the gas station and there's like a mutation. And the mutation is from the oil company in the forest, and it takes over people. And they have like splinter porcupine quills coming out of them, and they shape and they shapeshift and stuff. You told me to watch that movie forever ago. So I watched it, and then I couldn't go to sleep all night long. I slept with the lights on. So yesterday it came on, and I was watching it thinking that movie scared the crap out of me. Thank you, James.
I told you to watch it?
Yeah, you said it was really good.
That doesn't even sound familiar. I'm looking it up now because I don't remember it, but that doesn't.
It was a long time ago.
I've seen a lot of movies, so
it was really good.
Maybe I did watch this.
You did. You told me to watch it, and I watched it at night, and then I slept with the lights on because I was afraid. So, yeah, that's why I thought of you yesterday.
Oh, apparently that movie came out on Halloween in 2008.
Yeah.
I don't remember it, but that doesn't mean a lot. So, depending on when I told you to watch it, it could have been fresh in my brain.
It was fresh. It was scary. You were right.
Well, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad it worked out. Sometimes I give good recommendations. I actually, so for this teaching instructor development thing we just did this week, we had to come up with, we had to build a lesson. And then the end goal was to basically teach a class on something, a 20 to 30 minute presentation of some kind. With all of the things that we had learned throughout the week and with an activity and lesson plan and blah, 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 blah. And everybody did theirs on usable stuff for our jobs. And that's all fine and good. But I really didn't want to keep it work related. So I ended up doing a presentation about how, I just forgot the guy's name. What the hell? How Gary Oldman is quite possibly the best actor of our generation and of the current, modern times. And did this whole presentation about why I think Gary Oldman is a fantastic actor and blah, 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 blah. And went off about how the first time I saw him was in Bram Stoker's Dracula, and it tugged on my heartstrings because of my obsession with vampires when I was a kid, and how it was a phenomenal performance, and how he basically had to play 5 different versions of the Dracula character because of the actual timeline, and then The Professional, and then these movies and whatever. And a lot of the movies, like some of them, they had no idea that he was actually the character he was, because, he's not like Denzel Washington. You always know it's Denzel. He always plays himself in a different character. It's just, what you're getting with Denzel. And so I was like, my end goal for this lesson is to maybe introduce you to movies that you should see. And so there was like 5 or 6 movies I talked about, and a few of them were like, yeah, that movie sounds badass. We're going to go watch that. And I was like, you better go watch that. I expect a report back. Like True Romance. True Romance is great. Huge cast. Quentin Tarantino wrote it. And they had no idea, and they'd never seen it. And all of them had seen Bram Stoker's Dracula. And then I played a clip of Dracula, and I was like, so this clip that I'm using is not necessarily to showcase how great of an actor I think he is, but how great of an actor I think he is compared to Keanu Reeves, who I love, but his acting in that movie or his acting in most movies is not great. And so that clip I played, it's not scary or anything, but one of the guys, he's not a horror movie fan at all. He was kind of hiding in the back. I was like, you okay, Greg? You need me to come hold you and tell you it's going to be okay? But it was a good time. So anytime I can get somebody to watch a movie that I like a lot, like The Professional, like people are like, yeah, we're going to watch The Professional. I was like, you damn right. Go watch it now. Like I almost made him watch it right then, but we only had 20 minutes and couldn't watch the movie. So
That's a good movie.
Great movie. The girl I dated a couple months ago for a couple months, she had never seen it either, but she loved The Fifth Element. It's by the same director, Luc Besson. And so I introduced her to that, and she's like, oh my God, that movie's amazing. I was like, I know what I'm talking about. So that's my story about that. All right. Cool. So you also have a podcast.
I do. It's been on hiatus, but it's coming back next week. It's the Magically Delicious Podcast.
Like Lucky Charms?
Kind of, but better. It's about all the really magically cool things that happen in your life and in your world and how you can make it better. And I'll be doing readings on it. I'm kind of reformatting because before I would just talk, but because my voice likes to come and go, I figured, you know what? I really like doing readings, so I'm just going to be doing some channeled readings and talking about a subject that comes up during that channeled reading. And that's probably going to be my show. And then I'll have some guests on as I go along.
Good call.
Yep. So restructuring it, representing it, and it'll be starting next week.
Yeah, I looked it up because I haven't had a chance to listen to anybody's podcast. I got a few friends, like my friend Kimmy and Katie. I helped them get their podcast started back when they were first looking at doing it. They went from, I think it was like 4 days. They went from, hey, we should do a podcast about books to okay, let's talk to James and ask him about stuff, to ordering a bunch of gear and then learning how to do the software, to I think they put their first episode out just maybe within a month after that, and now they're doing really well. And I was like, I listened to their first 4 or 5 episodes, and a couple other friends' podcasts. I just never make the time to listen to anybody's podcast. So I was like, I'm gonna go try and catch up on Mom's, and I saw that you hadn't had a new episode in a little over a month, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll ask her about that, because I know how it goes. It's just, I know the feeling about just sitting and talking, and I never have a game plan. So like having a game plan is kind of foreign to me. So it's nice to actually have you and have this scheduled. And next week I got the open Zoom call for anybody who wants to show up. I don't expect anybody to really come, but I'm going to hang out on this thing for a couple hours, and if people want to join me and just chat about whatever, we'll see how it goes. If it goes well, cool. If it doesn't go well, I really don't care. I think it'll be interesting. But yeah, it's coming up with stuff. I mean, when you have a specific thing like yours, that's a lot easier to stay on track with, whatever kind of plan of attack you got. People keep telling me, oh, you should do a true crime podcast because your voice is perfect for true crime. And I'm like, well, thank you. But there are so many true crime podcasts, and a lot of research goes into the true crime stuff, and I don't want to be just another true crime podcast. And I don't know how I would even make it unique. So I don't want to do that. I like true crime, but I don't like it enough to do that. Same with like horror movies. I have a lot of varied interests, and I didn't want to make mine so specific. So
Well,
maybe.
when you do a podcast and you want it to be unique, it's already unique because you're unique. It's your voice, it's your energy, it's your thoughts, it's your production that you're putting out there, and it's already unique. So whatever you talk about is going to be unique to you, and the right people who want to tune in to James Cummings' uniqueness will show up for it and be there and be supportive, and they'll tell other people, and it'll just grow from there. And I kind of felt the same way with my Magically Delicious podcast, because I did internet radio for 2 years. Way back in 2010, I started it on parax.com when internet radio was the huge big thing, because it didn't have just like, you couldn't just go to Anchor or Spotify or whoever. You had to actually have some kind of system, right? So I was in with all these paranormal guys who were amazing at what they did. And I felt like, wow, I'm just like baby psychic medium here who doesn't know how to do internet radio. And the guy who owned the station told me, Ginger, just do you. And whoever's going to show up is going to be the exact right people for your show. And I always have that in the back of my mind whenever I try to do something new. Just do me, and whoever's supposed to be there is going to show up. And if it takes a while for it to get off the ground, then so be it. It may be an instant hit tomorrow. Who knows? And to me, that's like you're doing the best you can do with the energy of whatever you're starting. Sure. And I think you're doing a really good podcast because you're funny and you say things that are just real and down to earth. And you see things from your unique point of view. Of course, I'm a little bit prejudiced with that because you're my son and I love you and I'm proud of you. But still, at the same time, I go, what a cool podcast.
And thank you. You raised a legend.
I did. Yay, me.
Just to toot my own very large and powerful horn.
Well, that's true, because I remember don't you hate it when your parents go, I remember when? So I
No, because I
remember
find myself saying that shit now, and I'm like, oh my God.
when I took you to college for the first time and you had to enroll and you looked at everything they offered, I knew that wasn't going to be your path because you said to me, I don't want to take any of these classes because none of this will make me famous. Yeah, that's what you said to me. And I went, he's going to be famous. That's where he's going to go. So
Now I
here
just
you
got to
are.
decide if it's for a good reason.
It is a good reason. It's to make you happy.
Speaking of which, I need to find out, not necessarily famous, but let's see if I won Mega Millions last night, just while we're here. Because I don't necessarily care about the fame, but if I could afford to do cool, famous people stuff, that'd be awesome. I didn't. So I guess I gotta win. I guess I gotta win Powerball tonight.
But you know what that means? You now own a piece of a road or a park. You just don't know which one, and they didn't send you a thank you note.
Pretty sure I own several hundred parks by now.
There you go.
If I had
There's
to
your
guess.
road to fame.
Yeah, you gotta name something after me. Damn it. I don't know if I sent you this, and for the listeners, this doesn't apply to you at all because you won't be seeing it. But did I send you the picture of your grandson, the legacy, as I call him, for his parents? They renewed their vows just a couple weeks ago. Did I send you the picture from that? Like the
No, you sent me the prom picture.
Okay, so let me find this real quick and send it to you. I'll just send it through this chat function in the Zoom meeting so you can have it. I meant to text it. I totally spaced it out, but there are a couple of them, but this was the best. You might have to click it in the chat to see it, but otherwise I'll just text it to you later.
Okay.
But it's a nice little picture of their family because they renewed their vows, but had basically,
Oh,
it's like
that
a little
was really
wedding.
loud. I think I should do it in chat.
It should show up in the chat window.
It did, and it's not doing anything. It's loud.
It's loud?
When I save it? It does that. Yeah. Did you hear it?
No. I heard the little chime, but it's not very loud on my end.
Okay.
That just means your volume's up on your computer pretty high. I think, probably.
Because I'm old.
It happens.
It does. I'm looking.
That actually looks pretty blurry on my end. I might just text it to you, get a better picture out of it. But anyway, it's a cute picture.
Yeah, text it to me because I'm not finding it.
In the chat window?
Yeah, I downloaded it, but it's my computer's being weird. But text it to me because I save them on my phone.
Okay.
Are we done?
No, we're about to close out. Yeah, I think I don't know how long we've been talking, but it's been a while, been a long time. So, yeah. So gingerquinlan.com, GINGERQUINLAN.com. If you are interested in booking a reading, she's got a thing that says, I look forward to reading for you. Book now. Click there. You could meet her, see a picture of her dressed in black, so you know where I get it. I don't know if I have anything else to ask, really, that... What else you got for me? I'm going to leave it up to you to come up with content for this interview.
Oh, well. I don't just do readings. I do art. I do a lot of art. I make custom witch hats, Victorian witch hats. And I also make bath salts and body products. And I do the auctions on Facebook. Rebel Magic Auction is where I sell a lot of my stuff. So during September, October, November, December, I am a hat maker deluxe. I sell so many hats, and they're all unique, one-of-a-kind hats for people. I just had one of my ladies does photography. She's a model, and she has been having a lot of her hat pictures where she wears one of my hats and does a photo shoot. They've been going into all kinds of photography magazines. So that was pretty cool. I had to share that.
That
I'm
is
excited.
nifty. That is very
It's
nifty.
really nifty. So I'm getting quite the hat reputation on Facebook.
You have always been crafty with that stuff. From
Thank you. I like
wreath
it.
making. I remember the wreath making a lot as a child.
I made lots of wreaths and everything. T-shirts. Remember the sweatshirts? I did a million sweatshirts for Christmas one year.
I don't remember sweatshirts at all. I remember paintings, lots of paintings.
Did lots of paintings, lots and lots. I'm back to painting, doing all of that again. So that's my happy place, doing all the art.
That's good.
Yep.
You got to do something.
Got to. Keeps me happy, especially when you listen and deal with a lot of other people's energies and problems. You got to find a happy place with it. Like your music is probably your outlet for happiness.
Yeah. In fact, I for this instructor development thing we just did, I was really struggling to come up with we needed a learning activity, and that was for group participation to get everybody involved. And I was really trying to come up with something, and I didn't want it to be work related, and I was struggling, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna come in, and I ended up not doing this, but I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna have them I'm gonna classify it as breath work. And I was like, we're gonna go over some diaphragmatic breathing, and we'll label it as stress management, because it is stress management. And you know how I maintain such a calm demeanor in stressful situations, and how I'm generally just a cool motherfucker, even though I couldn't, say that because it's for work for this presentation that we're actually being graded on. And I was going to present it as this whole, breathe in, breathe out, and then forcefully exhaling. And I was going to call it aggressive deep breathing for relaxation, and, kind of counterintuitive. And then eventually, like towards the end, start adding in kind of a grunting, growling thing, and then try and sustain that. And then boom, surprise, you're a death metal vocalist. Go forth and conquer. And then I was like, oh, that's the last thing the people that still go into that office building for work need, is a room full of idiots screaming and growling. I was like, probably going to change it up. So I ended up changing it. I don't even remember what to now, but it was less fun, but I didn't want to freak everybody out. Like, we even had a thing where we did this little learning activity where we had to create lesson plans, basically, and then rotate the lesson plans around. So it was we had to partner up, and then us and our partner were given a topic, and then we had to create a lesson plan as if we needed to teach a class, a section of a class based on whatever this little topic was. And the lesson plan needed to be clear enough that somebody else could take our lesson plan and then teach that section to the rest of the class. So we had to give it to somebody else. So somebody created one called Making a Pizza. So Alexis and I, my partner and I, we got their lesson plan, and we had to go over the steps to make a pizza. And as we're, we don't have the things to do any of this stuff, so we have to pantomime all of this action out. So I'm pretending to flip the dough and roll out the dough, and we get to the sauce ladling part. And one of the managers who helped put the class together, he's been around a long time. He knows me. He knows I'm a death metal guy, whatever. I have a reputation, apparently. We get to the sauce part, and I was like, okay, so the next step is probably ladling the sauce. Wouldn't you agree? And they're like, yeah. I was like, all right, take your ladle and you scoop out some of the sauce, and then you're just gonna pour the sauce over, and you're gonna start spreading it around with the ladle. And somebody is like, which direction do you go, clockwise or counterclockwise? And I was like, well, you can really go whichever direction you want to, but I prefer clockwise. Everything always clockwise. And he goes, what if I want to go counterclockwise? I think you should go counterclockwise. I was like, I was raised in a pagan household, and everything's clockwise for us because we want the good juju in this pizza. And I lost that class for like 5 minutes. Like, it was so ridiculous. And then I was like, if you're from Australia, maybe it's okay to go counterclockwise. I think instinctively you just go counterclockwise because you're on the other side of the equator, and it worked out. But it was pretty funny. Just the whole, I was raised in a pagan household, and I thought like it just came out of me, and I was like, oh shit, did I just lose him? Because I'm pretty sure he's Catholic. I can't remember. He is very, very religious, but I was like, oh no, what have I done? So we'll see.
But Catholics are just one step away from being pagan.
Yeah, and I don't think
They don't know that.
realize that they didn't get the memo. It wasn't in the citation section of the Bible.
There you go. Good point.
So anyway, I've really, really enjoyed our little chat.
Me too. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you for being a willing subject.
Oh, you're most welcome. And I didn't play any Donna Summer here for you, but I was tempted.
I can't even think of one of her songs right now.
Hot stuff. Hot stuff, baby, this evening.
Oh, that's right.
Hot stuff, baby, tonight. Ooh, I'm singing on air.
Yeah, this is going out to the world.
Oh my
Hope
God.
you're ready. Hope you're ready for that.
Did you feel the sabers in your ear again?
Welcome to The Voice. I'm going to turn my chair around now.
If it was American Idol, you could buzz me. Or America's Got Talent, buzz me.
I hate all of those shows.
I get frustrated with them.
I don't get frustrated. I just hate them.
I get frustrated because the people who are amazingly good don't win. They somehow get voted off. And
it's a popularity
like,
contest. Above anything else, it's a popularity contest.
Yeah, it is. It is. It annoys me.
I mean, America's Got Talent, I like a little bit. America's Got Talent, just because it's not just a singing competition. It's more. But even then, I mean, it's cool to see the talented people that are out there. And like the thing with The Voice and American Idol is there are some talented people out there, but they're singing other people's songs, and a lot of times I should say, because I know that they allow originals now, but I mean, going out to a singing competition like that and singing original music is
so
risky.
Much better. It's so much better though.
Well, I agree, but it's risky when you think about it, because like if you, as somebody who's been in local bands forever, if you're a new band, people, they're listening attentively to your music, trying to figure out if it's something they actually like. They don't know they don't like it yet. They don't know that they do like it. So when you're singing somebody else's song, as soon as they recognize it's somebody else's song, first of all, they'll know right away if it's a song they already do or don't like. And then now did you do a good job or did you ruin the song? So if they did like it, they have higher expectations. If they don't like the song, but maybe you do a good job with it, maybe that stands out more. If it's a song they've never heard or are not familiar with, or if it's your own original music, I think I could be the best singer in the world, and if I come up and sing a song that you've never heard and it goes over really, really well, but then somebody else does a very popular song and kills it, like Adele, somebody sings Adele and crushes Adele, that one's going to get voted above my original piece that I did amazing with.
True.
It's just
You're
the way
right.
it goes. Plus, it's a popularity contest and they get to see you. And if you don't have that specific look that people like or personality, because they do all that stupid, interviewing. Oh, I was born with one arm and that's all I have as far as an appendage. So luckily I found singing to be my escape from the ability to hold things with two hands and whatever. And that if they would not have the interview crap ever, I might be more interested in it. But I get the overcoming challenges shit, but everybody's got challenge. I mean, some challenges are more than others, but everybody's got stuff to overcome. And the stories are cool, but tell me the story after you win. That's when I care about it. Like, I don't give a shit while you're in the process. That's me. I'm just cold. Dead inside, maybe. A little bit.
No, you just want to get to the end result.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got issues, deal with your issues. Now tell me who wins.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I don't know. Like America's Got Talent, I like just because it's the closest thing to Star Search from when I was a kid, and Star Search was awesome.
Yeah.
But that's a talent show, so you get more variety as opposed to The Voice and American Idol, which are singing competitions. And I really just hate American Idol specifically. If I had to choose between the two, I will watch The Voice. I think they have more talented people, and the judges specifically for The Voice are pretty talented people, well known for their talents. Whereas American Idol is like, we have reality TV show star so and so as a judge.
Right.
But they don't, even though they're a judge, they are not the ones who do the voting. It's all the popular, and same for The Voice, it's the popularity voting.
It is.
And whereas America's Got Talent, I don't know if I've ever watched it enough to find out if the people make the vote on that or if it's the judges, but
it's both.
Yeah, let's see. That's how much I care.
It's both.
I don't know. I could never go on with it. I don't have enough skills to go on those shows with anything, unless they need somebody to stand around. I can do that. Pretty good at that. Opening a door.
You can sing. What are you talking about?
No.
Yes.
I can grunt aggressively. I can mostly just standing around. I'm really good at that. Being in the way of things. These are the things I'm skilled at.
All right. Well, you have skills.
I do.
You could be without skills, period. Yeah.
I could also only have one arm, so I'm glad I don't have that challenge to overcome. Well, I guess we can wrap this up. I really do appreciate you doing this for me.
I appreciate you, honey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This went on longer than I definitely expected it to, but I somehow knew that it would. So
it's us, right?
It is.
We're chitty chatty.
Chitty. There are a lot of people in my hallway right now.
Oh, I can't hear them.
That's good. They're banging around, probably moving. I don't know. I hope they fall down the stairs.
How do you really feel?
That was the nice way of saying what I feel.
Oh, they're not very nice people.
I have no idea who's out there. I don't know. I was like,
you just want some excitement?
Yeah.
A random fall down the stairs.
Yeah. Why not?
I love you. You're dark yet perky.
Yes.
It runs in the family, right?
I am the cloud in the sun.
Shine bright, my cloudy sun.
All right. I'm going to stop this recording now.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too.